Hello from Cardinia Health Pelvic Pain Clinic. Today I'm talking about getting moving and getting exercise because we know motion is lotion for the body. My name is Celia Bolton. I'm a pelvic health physiotherapist, and I want to acknowledge the Wadawurrung people who are the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which I live and work. I also want to acknowledge my privileges. I want you to use exercise. It's a natural painkiller. I want at the end of this for you to see exercise as an opportunity for better health and more comfort. I want to talk about where to start, and I want to help you through some of the barriers you might be experiencing. So the general benefits of exercise are well known. You can look here. It reduces depression and anxiety, helps with resting heart rate, blood pressure, lipid and glucose in your body, normalizing body mass index, reducing emotional stress, improving sleep, encouraging healthy lifestyle choices, and lowering inflammatory markers. And we know that that's important in endometriosis, but also for pain. So exercise also reduces systemic inflammation. What this study did is it looked at the effect of exercise on cytokine, that's your inflammatory markers, proteins. It looked at a single intense exercise versus regular moderate exercise. I want to show you what they found. With a single intense level of exercise, they found that it really increases inflammation. So the cytokines that produce and relieve went in such a direction that it really amplified increased in inflammation. Whereas regular moderate exercise did the reverse. It had a large effect of reducing the production of inflammatory markers and increasing the relieving inflammatory markers. So it had a big net effect of decreasing inflammation. So the message here is start gently, keep going. Regular moderate exercise is king, and you'll reduce your inflammation. We also have a natural pharmacy from exercise. It reduces fight, flight, and vagal imbalance. It helps with immune and inflammation, like I said. It helps with serotonin, which is mood, sleep, appetite, digestion, emotional stability, focus and well-being, healing of wounds, but also helping with blood clotting. It also helps with dopamine, the brain's reward system, creating feelings of pleasure and motivation, regulation of movement, learning and attention. But particularly the idea is, and the understanding is, this natural pharmacy has a pain system wind down. Other studies find that recreational exercise reduces pain. Persistent pain was down 10 to 12% for those exercising moderate intensity, 1 to 3 times a week for at least 30 minutes, and less muscle pain reported during water exercise than land-based. And for period pain and physical activity, exercising regularly throughout the month, 45 to 60 minutes each time, 3+ times per week, any intensity, may reduce menstrual pain intensity by a score of 25 out of 100. That's 25%. They tell me to move, but where do I start? It actually is just important to start. So if you can find something that's novel, that actually takes your attention away from how your body's feeling, something that's enjoyable, affordable and achievable, just start. And success is not what people think it looks like. This is what it really looks like. So the getting through the barriers, dizziness and POTS is actually really common amongst the folk who experience pelvic pain and endometriosis. So start with lying down exercise. If you're standing, keep moving. Prepare with a glass of electrolytes. Avoid high heat or sudden changes in temperature. You can use compressive skins over legs and abdomen. But really importantly, take micro breaks if you're dizzy or your heart races. So you can elevate your legs up, pump your ankles for 1 to 3 minutes, and use distracting stress busters, such as noticing what you can hear or see. So what you can do is start an exercise. If you start to feel uncomfortable, take the micro break, but keep going. Getting through the barriers such as fear. This is actually a questionnaire that looks at how people might be fearful of movement because of injury. And have a look at the list here. I'm afraid I might injure myself if I exercise. If I were to try to overcome it, my pain would increase. My body is telling me I have something dangerously wrong. People aren't taking my medical condition seriously enough. Pain always means I've injured my body. I'm afraid that I might injure myself accidentally. You can see if you move down there, this is the common list of what people do think, and it creates a barrier to doing exercise that'll make you better. So what do? Getting through fear. Having a mantra, and these are two common ones: motion is lotion, sore but safe. Knowing that actually if you do exercise and if you do have a little increase in pain, it doesn't mean you've done any injury. You can change where your focus is, particularly if you're outside. Focus on nature, it's very calming, or focus on what you can see and hear, or listen to music that distracts you. And maybe you might need some company, such as a group class, or take a buddy with you. Now, this is a bit of work to go through here, but I want you to be aware of the different strategies you might be using to help control pain or to avoid pain. This study actually looked at who did the best with what kind of attitude to exercise. The first one, activity adjustment. I took a short rest from an activity so that I could complete the activity later. I broke tasks into periods of activity and rest. I alternated the type of activity that I was doing. Activity planning. I planned in advance how long I would spend on each activity. I set activity goals that were meaningful for me. Activity progression. I gradually increased how long I could spend on my activities. Activity consistency. I kept to a consistent level of activity every day. Activity acceptance. I was able to say no if I was unable to do an activity. I changed my activity targets if they were unrealistic. You can see there's a lot in common there. But what strategy works best? What we think and what you may have heard 100 times is go by how you feel. What they found overall, that increased pain, anxiety, depression and avoidance, and decreased function. Whereas the attitude of just doing something daily no matter what, it decreased fatigue, anxiety, depression and avoidance, and increased function. This clever researcher said that perhaps behaviours that are driven by symptom severity actually may leave individuals feeling out of control. And feeling out of control is definitely something that would wind up your nervous system. So what does success look like? It's about starting somewhere, keeping going, and there will be setbacks, and success is actually about perseverance. Thank you for listening.